Welcome to Trade Talk, the podcast where construction pros connect, share, and grow. Brought to you by Contractors Connect, this show dives into real-world issues facing today's builders on and off the job site.
Whether you're swinging a hammer, running a crew, or scaling a business, we've got the insights, stories, and expert tips to help you level up in the building industry.
I'm Sarah White.
And I'm Erin Bacher. And together, we'll be talking shop with industry leaders, tradespeople, and innovators who are shaping the future of construction.
Let's get to work. This is Trade Talk.
Welcome to Trade Talk, where construction pros connect, share, and grow.
We're your hosts. I'm Sarah White, and I have Erin Bacher with me. And today we are diving into a game-changing new tool that is saving a lot of time and money on the job site.
Yes, we're talking about Grunt, a company that delivers building materials straight to job sites. So think Instacart meets Home Depot, and I'm a big Instacart subscriber.
Me too. I love to have everything delivered. I'm waiting for gas delivery. That would be ideal.
I'm almost on empty right now.
Straight to the garage. But we have Martin Horak with us today, who is the founder of Grunt, and he's going to sit down with us and tell us about how he came up with this idea, how it's saving contractors a lot of time, and he's innovating a part of the industry.
Right. So if you're a construction pro that's ever burned an hour trying to go get a box of screws, those days are over.
Yes. We're excited to have Martin join us.
Want to grow your network and your business? Join Contractors Connect, the go-to networking group for professionals in the building industry. For just $400 a year, members get 4 complimentary meetup tickets per year, a featured spot in our online directory, visibility at every Contractors Connect event, and more. Whether you're a contractor, vendor, or service pro, there's a place for you here. Join today at contractors-connect.com/memberships, and let's build something great together.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us today, Martin. We love what you're doing, and you guys have been coming to Contractors Connect since we started back last May, and so we're excited to sit down with you today and learn a little bit more about what you do.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Of course. We're glad to have you. So, Martin, what was the problem that led to creating Grunt?
So I think there were many problems I experienced over the years, but I think the main problem which triggered the Grunt was when I was riding out a hurricane at my house. I rode through some hurricanes, but this one was a little different. It was a Category 5, and so at the time I was just thinking, what it's going to take to rebuild, and I've been in the industry where I've been dealing with the contractors and subcontractors, and time is money, and going to the store and back and sending skilled labor to store and back, it's just such a waste. Mm-hmm. And so, at that time, I thought, let's do something about it. And here we are.
All right.
So was that Hurricane Michael?
Yeah. So Hurricane Michael, we'll never forget sitting in my house. I was actually under a ladder with my dogs, looking at the radar, just kind of seeing it coming for us. Mm-hmm. And then we lost power and everything, and just pretty intense.
Yeah.
I mean, I was fortunate. I only had to replace shingles on my roof, but, a lot of people or many people were not as fortunate, especially in Panama City. Yeah. So I do not recommend anybody ride out these storms right now because they're well more intense than what they used to be back in the day.
We all learned a lot from Michael.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So that is when you thought of this idea, and then can you kind of walk us through how you brought it from an idea to what you are today?
Yeah, it's a long process to basically start from napkin idea and make it work. And so, it started really just, having a discussions, with some friends, and I've got friends in industry, and they said it'd be cool if we just had somebody who can just bring stuff up for us, especially the smaller stuff we need right now. And, at one point prior to the hurricane, a friend of mine and I, we built a townhome, and at the end, all the finishing touches, we needed a door handle, mm-hmm. we need this and that, the stuff you don't have. And we had to stop what we were doing, and, we try to get it ready because there was a closing coming up, and it was just such a waste. So we kind of lay down the idea and then start doing a market research and kind of had to validate it. I mean, is it something which actually is needed, and is it going to work? And so we were just checking the boxes. Then we came up with the name Grunt. Then we started the branding, and then started to build the app. It's a mobile app we built from scratch. So we built a prototype, which is actually what we're still using, but we are just about to switch over to a more robust, brand new app.
Okay.
And so, and then we had to set up a company and set up the marketing, the social media, the whole 9 yards, and it took every bit of almost 3 years to really, get to where we are now. And we launched last year.
Yeah, I think it seems like you guys have really taken traction. And I notice a lot of our members are using, Contractors Connect members are using you. Mm-hmm. And so how does it work in practice for a contractor?
So it's fairly simple. As a contractor, you have a relationship with a supplier, or you buy from a specific supplier. You ask supplier basically to have your order ready for pickup, and then you go to Grunt app and you give us pickup location, drop-off location. You can upload a purchase order or QR code, or we need something so driver knows when they show up at the supplier what they're picking up. You just upload it into the app, and then you can select different types of vehicle. You can do a regular car or pickup truck. Mm-hmm. Then you just pay for the order, and you get matched with driver who goes pick it up for you and brings it to you under a couple of hours.
And under a couple of hours.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, or you can have it scheduled also. Like for example, if you're an electrician who knows who's going to be on the job site at this address on a Wednesday, you can have it delivered to you.
Right.
So you don't have to, start your day at the supplier and wait in line.
Yeah.
And, you kill 2 hours just by loading up your stuff. And you
Definitely.
can just show up on the job site and start working.
Yeah.
So we've known you for about a year. From you launched your company about the same time we rebooted Contractors Connect. And to me, everything about you says successful startup guy. And I just want to rewind a little bit and learn more about your background.
Well, so I worked for a big corporate company for 15 years, and company basically it's a real estate investment trust, and they built and operate shopping centers. And so I was in charge of basically property management on a larger scale, from day-to-day operations, dealing with the contractors, subcontractors, just running the city within the city kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so that's my background. And prior to that, I was actually working for a land developer for some time, building subdivisions. Okay. So, I've been in this kind of industry for pretty much most of my life.
So you experienced the problems that you're now providing solutions for?
Many times. Again, I go back to, after the storm, when we were fixing stuff at the property level, which I was managing, at one point I had an electrician sending their guys to store to pick up circuit breaker. And I was telling him, look, you're paying your guy $100-something an hour, or you're billing me $100 an hour plus, and just to go get a circuit breaker, right? So I said, look, I've got a maintenance guys on staff I can send to pick up whatever you need.
Right.
And, it's going to cost me 1/3.
Right, exactly.
So, it's time is money. I mean, and or you got and from my personal experience, I've had it happen when HVAC guy showed up at my house who told me he had to go, he didn't know what it was until he really got into it, and he realized it was a bad heat element. Mm-hmm. And he didn't have one on the truck, and he had to go to a supplier. Same thing, Mm-hmm. You're going to be gone for 2 hours. You're going to charge me for your time traveling to the store.
You might stop and get lunch on the way.
Right, yeah. And so I end up actually telling him, move on and come back tomorrow, and I'll have it ready for you.
Yeah, yeah. That's smart, because it's a time saving, but also a cost savings. You don't need to have these skilled tradespeople going to pick up screws at Home Depot.
Correct. And also we have kind of started to work with local suppliers too now, because we're helping local suppliers as well. So imagine you're a supplier and you have your in-house delivery, and in the middle of the day you have, your customer calling you, hey, can you, get me 5 gallons of paint? I need it right now. And you can't because you guys are already out, delivering.
Right.
And so we kind of complement a supplier's in-house delivery too, because, supplier can offer, on-demand delivery,
Via you, a third party.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it helps them, it helps his customer, or, they have sales guys who are receiving calls from their clients saying, hey, I need this, and sales guy cannot get that to them, so they can get Grunt now to deliver to them as well.
Well, and so that also improves their customer service.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So just the value, they can add to their, operations, to their business, and hopefully, sell more product.
Right.
What kinds of items are most commonly ordered, or is it all over the place?
It is all over the place, but smaller stuff, hardware, 2x4, or a couple sheets of plywood, paint.
Things they're short on at the time.
Yeah. But again, we also are able to help not just construction industry. We're able to help a small local business owners. Okay. So let's say local print shop, right, who doesn't offer delivery, and then their clients have to manually, or go physically pick up their, signs, whatever. We can pick up signs for you. You just get Grunt to pick up your signage.
Noted.
So in my mind, we are helping local business community to run errands, right?
Yeah. Right.
So because again,
to do the grunt work.
To do exactly right.
And really not limited to the construction industry. I didn't know that. That's the first time I've heard that. That's great.
Yeah, we don't want to haul food, and we don't want to haul people, but we can do everything in between. And it's really, as long as it's ready to be picked up, it's paid for at the the store, and ready to be picked up, then we can pick it up.
Okay.
We don't go inside the store and source, for you.
Right. You're not shopping.
No, we're not shopping. We strictly just pick up and drop off.
Right.
So we also don't charge suppliers to use our services.
Right.
So they don't have to mark up their prices.
Right.
But like right now, a lot of suppliers, if you buy online, the price might be different than if you buy for in-store pickup, right?
Definitely.
Yes.
So the free delivery, quote unquote, it's not free.
It's not
I mean,
free at
you
all.
pay for it.
Yeah.
So with
But
us,
time is money.
time is money.
Yeah.
And it's just exactly. And so it's pick up, drop off, transparent price, and you see what you're paying and how much it's going to cost. So.
Yeah. So do people who want to use your services, they can download the app, and then is it per delivery that you pay, or do you have a subscription, or how does that work?
So eventually, I think we'll end up with a subscription model, but right now it's strictly basically per type of vehicle. There's a base fee within the 3 miles, and then there's a mileage.
Okay.
And an algorithm will auto-calculate that. So when you put a pickup location, drop-off location, the algorithm will will calculate the cost, so you can see it up front, how much it's going to cost.
And then what areas do you serve?
So right now we're running from west side of Panama City Beach all the way to Destin.
Okay.
We've done Niceville, Freeport. We kind of try to keep it in our little area because this is really our home, and this is where we want to really put it to work. And as we roll into the new app and start growing, we obviously want to kind of expand.
Right.
But right now it's it's still in our area, so 50-mile radius essentially.
That's cool. And so you're providing jobs in our area as well because they're local drivers.
Correct. And so I think that was one of my other kind of things. We wanted to be able for locals to make extra money, put your wheels to work,
Right.
I mean, look, you can have a pickup truck, you make 3 trips a week, and it pays for your car payment, your insurance, and so absolutely. There's lots of hospitality, hospitality industry in our area. So those guys always working 2 jobs and, being able to just, make a few extra bucks.
And work when you want to.
And work when you want to, yeah. So that's really important that, we try to make sure that local drivers can make money, and then we'll help local businesses to be more efficient.
Right.
And so I think it's win-win all the way around.
How do you vet your drivers?
So basically, when they sign up through Grunt app, it comes to us, so they have to submit certain information to us. And then the way we do it, if they're existing gig drivers, so if they're already working for Uber, DoorDash, they're already vetted. So if they show us that they're basically vetted and they're active within the platform, they get a fast pass.
Yeah.
And we can get them approved fairly quick. Yeah. But if they're not, we have to go through background checks, obviously.
Right.
And so do you have a lot of drivers who drive for all these different services?
Yeah, there's quite a few. They do it full time. And so, they have 3-4 different apps open, and they just kind of pick the job as they come, become available. So,
well, you know what? They should listen to our podcast if they're going to be in the car so much.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
Great idea. Way to slip that in there.
And then also, drivers for Grunt, they don't have to work late nights. They don't have to have people in the car.
Yeah.
So I have a driver who's got a son who he's watching during the day, and he just rides with him. And, so
that's a good point, because when you have to drive people around, that's a whole different experience. When you have to go in and out and shop, that's a whole different experience. So this is a great job for somebody who has kids at home.
You can just absolutely. Yeah.
Or dog. You can have a dog in the car or whatever.
Yeah.
You can just, you alone in your truck, so you can do whatever you want.
Calling all women in construction, this is your moment to build boldly. Join us for the Built to Lead Women in Construction Summit, happening August 21st at the Emerald Grand in Destin, Florida. This one-day event brings together industry leaders for powerful keynotes, breakout sessions, and real talk about leadership, growth, and opportunity in the building world. Space is limited, so grab your ticket now at contractors-connect.com/contracther. Let's break ground together. I think I also saw on your website that you deliver for residential clients as well.
Meaning?
To somebody's house, like they...
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So DIY, right? Yeah. You are a DIY. And so this was one of my things also, because I do like to work around the house on weekends. And when I had a 9-to-5 job, I wanted to just... Saturday morning, wake up and have my stuff ready so I can start, working around the house. And absolutely. So we can pick up from Home Depot, Lowe's, and bring it to your home. Yeah. And,
my husband has been working on a very lengthy project at our house, and it's finished now. Yeah. It's finished now, but every single weekend he has multiple trips to Home Depot and Ace. And I said to him last weekend, why don't you just try to get everything you think you'll need at the beginning of the day?
But I think it's hard. I mean, yes, especially...
Apparently.
And honestly, it is. I mean, and there's a condition change. And a lot of times, from my personal experience, a lot of times I'm getting into something and I really don't know exactly what I need until I walk in the store and start looking for something I need to make it work. Yeah. So, obviously that's where you can have Grunt to do that for you. But, But I'm just saying that we are not one for all. I mean, sometimes you just got to go physically into the store and find out what you need.
But when you do know what you need, this is a great way that you can just keep working at your project and it'll get there in the next 2 hours.
Yeah, correct. And with a Homes and Home Depot and Lowe's or Ace Hardware, they have a really good mobile apps you can sign up through, and it's so easy just to order in-store pickup. And if it's small stuff, there are lock boxes. So our drivers just get a 4-digit combo. They just go pick up a box of nails from a lock box. Yeah. And so those big anchors have a pretty good system.
That makes it easier for you to kind of slip in there and be the go-between. But also I was just thinking, if for homeowners, if you don't have a truck and you need to get a big, whatever you've bought that's not going to fit in your car, you're kind of the go-between for that too.
100%. So mulch example, you need 10 bags of mulch and you drive in a small car. Right. Or, that pickup truck option is definitely, a plus for somebody like that who doesn't have a right vehicle, because, you can see it sometimes on the road when somebody's 2x4s are sticking out of the little sedan.
Right. I just saw several pictures this morning. It was they know what we're doing today, but on Instagram of people holding 2x4s out the window, driving down the road. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. So every time I see somebody, I try to snap a picture. You know,
Yeah.
so it'd be good for us.
That's social media gold.
Yeah, but it's never really good. You know, quality. So yeah.
Well, what are some of the biggest hurdles that you've faced when developing this company?
Ooh, I think the biggest one is the software development.
Yeah.
You know, we actually we started the very first prototype. They call it MVP, minimum value product, with a company out of San Francisco, and worked on it for almost 8 months, and basically had to scrap it because it just didn't work out. They just didn't do a very good job, and just the product itself it's like building a house. You know, if you don't have a right foundation,
Right.
then there's no way it's gonna be, work out in long term. And then the maintenance cost, it's, a lot if you have you gotta be fixing stuff all the time. So software development, so we have had a kind of bad experience with first developer, and then we had to kind of figure out, okay, what are we gonna do now? Because it's gonna probably take another year to build something, and because we're building 3 different apps, really. We're building a driver, customer, and admin panel, which
Right.
is what we can manage, everything on the back end. So, and all that has to work together. So we fired this developer, and then we built a prototype, which we're using still now, which is great, but, it's not, it can sustain a whole bunch of users.
Right.
So along the side, we got the MVP out, this prototype out, but we also have partnered up with a local company out of Panama City Beach, who have been building our brand new app, which
Okay,
again,
that's cool.
they started last year, and we're just about to release it. But yeah, it's lots of work. I mean, you got lines of code and screens and how everything needs to flow, and notifications, payment
Yeah,
processing,
I'm sure.
messaging, and and it's all you building it from without a blueprint. So
Right.
you just gotta have to go from paper sketch to
Yeah.
That's
code.
good, though, that you found somebody local that you can use.
Yeah, great.
It seems like it would make it a little easier.
great guys. Yeah, I can go knock on the door if things don't
Yeah.
work out.
Yeah,
but,
you know where to find them.
They're very professional, and we actually brought them in, so they actually own part of our company now. So it's a good partnership, I think, a long term. And we as we release this new one, we want to collect feedback from users, and then we want to add features based on what everyone wants. So.
I noticed you have quite a big team that works for Grunt. Is that a part of what's helped you be successful?
Oh, absolutely. So we've got people from all over the country, really, from California to Canada to Florida, and yeah, I mean, you cannot do it alone, right? You gotta have a good team. So
Right.
yeah.
Special thanks to Coastal Brick and Stone, the official sponsor of the Trade Talk booth in Walton County. Whether you're building from the ground up or adding the perfect finishing touch, Coastal Brick and Stone brings craftsmanship and creativity to every project. From natural stone to pavers and outdoor living spaces, their expert team helps turn your vision into lasting curb appeal. Thank you, Coastal Brick and Stone, for supporting the conversation and the construction community. Learn more at coastalbrickandstone.com. What advice would you give to somebody who is looking to take an idea like this and build a company?
It's hard. I mean, it's really hard, and it makes me question my life choices sometimes.
Yeah.
We get that.
But it's hard, and if you think you can have it done in a year, then add more time. I mean, it's time. You got to just be persistent and patient, and it's tough. I mean, it is tough to especially when it's something you have no blueprint on
Right.
how to build. And so
Late
I'd say
hours.
be patient, and if you hit the wall, you got to go through it or around it. I mean, you got to keep on trucking.
Yep. Late nights.
Oh, late nights
Early
and lots of
mornings.
frustrations,
Yeah.
and sometimes a little cussing,
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so, but it's, we came a long ways, but I mean, we still have way to go. But, it's hard to be entrepreneur. And, I said that to somebody the other day, when I was talking to recently, we had a supplier meetup, and then when I was approaching different local suppliers and different people, when you have a conversation with somebody who has done and built something on their own, it's totally different conversation than if you're just talking to somebody who's employee of somebody, who's just been employed all their life. So it's, that's different. So it's
a different mindset.
100%. Yeah.
All right. Well, I know that you talked about expanding. You're launching this new app soon. You're hoping that you can continue to grow and serve more areas. Do you have, what do you see happening in the future?
I think we would like to, so what we're trying to do here locally is now we try to bring as many locals in as possible, like the early adopters, and we want to incentivize whether you're a supplier or local driver or customer. We want to kind of have locals. We want to lock in locals before we go to a different market. And so our next kind of market, I think we need to go to more like a metropolitan area. I think we want to stay in Florida, Tampa, Orlando, kind of, not too far, so we can still kind of, manage it. And I think basically what we're doing here, we're building the model here, which we'll be ready to go and plug into different markets.
It's so exciting.
It is.
It's very cool. We really admire you.
Thank you.
We do. Why don't you tell our viewers and listeners how they can learn more, whether they're a customer, a supplier, or if they want to be a driver?
I think they all should go to our website. It's trygrunt.com, and we have a different tab for different users, so driver, supplier, customer, and then all the information is really on our website. You can get in touch with us via email or phone number. Our social media, we do Instagram and Facebook, and so just follow us on social media and check out our website.
Yeah.
Before we started filming, we talked about your social media. It's fabulous.
It really is. It's great.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's one thing. It's social media. I'm glad I have a good help because it's not something I could take on myself.
Yeah.
They're doing a great job.
They're doing a great job.
Yeah,
and so for those who haven't seen it, you kind of have a retro look and black and white photos showing basically what you're doing, which is delivering supplies to job sites, and you talk about historical,
the industrial age, and
like building bridges and things like that, and kind of a
you
throwback
explained why
vibe.
Before, kind of throwing it.
Correct. Yeah, and so we talked about it before we went on that our thing is like we want it to be kind of like a good old days,
right?
When somebody's word meant something. Like if they told you, "Hey, we're gonna deliver this at certain time," then you can count on it.
Right.
And so I think the whole kind of retro theme is something which is really cool.
Right. It's really just kind of showcasing that this is not a new concept, getting supplies delivered to the job site. It's just a new way of doing it.
Yes, you got to look at how you run your business, really. You got to kind of maybe make minor adjustments, but so far, especially the contractors who we work with who made that minor adjustment, they're happy and they're hooked. I mean, they can spend time, really do what they need to be doing. They can even go home early or go spend time with family.
Save time and money.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's right.
Perfect.
For sure.
All right.
We appreciate you so much. This has been fun. As soon as we came up with the idea for the podcast, we thought of you, which was a while ago, but we had you in mind all along. So we're glad that you were here.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks. Contractors, mark your calendars. Contractors Connect is headed to Escambia County on Thursday, June 5th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Calvert's in the Heights on Scenic Highway in Pensacola. Hosted by Bespoke Consulting and proudly presented by Builders First Source of the Emerald Coast, this quarterly networking event brings together contractors, subcontractors, and industry pros for an evening of real connections in a laid-back, fun atmosphere. Tickets are just $20 and sponsorships are available now at contractors-connect.com. Don't miss it. Let's build something great together. All right, now it's time for some Voices from the Booth. These clips are from our Trade Talk booth in Walton County, and they are sponsored by Coastal Brick and Stone.
Yes, at every Contractors Connect event, we bring our trade booth Trade Talk booth with us.
Right.
So it gives our guests and our sponsors and our members an opportunity to talk about their business.
Yeah.
And this week, we have Rosa with RSZ Design Development, and she's going to talk a little bit about her business.
Rosa is a speaker too. She's going to be a speaker at our upcoming Built to Lead Summit in August. She's going to be speaking on leadership. So we're excited to learn more from her. And here's a little clip where you can meet her.
So my name is Rosa, and I am with RSZ Design Development. I am also with Build with Rosa. And I have been in business for 28 years. I'm only 25, by the way. But 28 years, and I'm an interior designer. I am a builder and a general contractor. So that's one of the reasons why I'm here. I moved down here about 3.5 years ago. I'm still going back and forth between Atlanta and Alabama, but I'm ready to put some roots down in this area. So it's time to start getting to know everybody.
Yeah, so Rosa's really great, and she actually has her own YouTube channel too, so you can go and watch. She has lots of tips for women in construction.
Yeah, and she wrote a children's book.
Yeah, and I think she's going to be at an upcoming Contractors Connect in Walton County.
The August one, and she'll be doing book signings.
Perfect. All right, so now I think next we have Caroline from PEC Plus.
All right.
Caroline with PEC Plus with me this evening out at the Walton County Contractor Connect event. So glad to have you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Well, I'd love to learn a little bit about your company, what you guys do, and what areas you service.
So we are called PEC Plus. We are a full service engineering firm that does everything from land planning, surveying, all the way through construction.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, this is a perfect event for you guys. I'm sure you're making a lot of connections in the construction industry, and hopefully it's been a successful night for you.
It's been great. Everybody's been so kind and welcoming.
You know, it's funny that we have these two clips today because Caroline is actually going to be on the panel at the Built to Lead Summit too.
Yes, and tickets, by the time this podcast is out, tickets will be for sale and potentially sold out.
Yeah, we hope so.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, that was fun. We love hearing from people at our events, and next time you're there, step into the booth and film a clip. Specialty Metals is where precision fabrication meets craftsmanship. Based along the Emerald Coast, they specialize in custom metalwork for builders, roofers, HVAC pros, and contractors, offering everything from window and door trim to chimney caps and roof flashings. Known for quality, speed, and tailored solutions, Specialty Metals delivers dependable results on every project. Discover the difference at specialtymetalsnwf.com or call 850-880-6300. Okay, that's all for this week, and we'll see you next Tuesday. If you like what you hear, leave us a review, leave us a rating, share it with everyone you know because we want to grow with you.
Yes. And if you have topic ideas, email us at info@bespokeconsulting.com.
See you next time on Trade Talk.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning into Trade Talk, powered by Contractors Connect, where construction pros connect, share, and grow.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like and subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your crew.
Until next time,
Stay sharp,
stay safe,
and keep building.